Did you know that the United Methodist Church has been debating human sexuality for over 40 years? While these issues are currently a flashpoint for the church, they are not new. And while we may hope for a swift and clear resolution from the Special General Conference in 2019, the process of the church is often long and complicated. So here are a few things to keep in mind as we head towards February. One, each of the plans and petitions that are set to be voted on by the Special General Conference are subject to be amended and changed by the group of delegates over the 4 days of conferencing. So even though we know what the plan says right now, that may change over the course of discussion and debate at the General Conference. 2, there is no rule that says the Special General Conference has to pass anything before the conference is over. That's right, if the group of delegates is unable to come to a large enough consensus to pass one of the plans in the 4 days allotted, there may be nothing decided at this special conference, and these issues may be postponed again until the next General Conference in 2020. 3, even if the delegates are able to pass something in the 4 days allotted, the decision will still be subject to review by the Judicial Council. And if the Judicial Council finds part of whatever is passed unconstitutional, that decision or that part of the decision will not be allowed to stand. 4, if the General Conference passes a plan that requires any changes to the Constitution of the United Methodist Church, these changes must be voted on by each local conference, which means that the final approval of the plan would not be complete until each annual conference has a chance to vote in 2020. Even if a plan is passed, and even if it is deemed constitutional by the Judicial Council, and even if it does not require any other votes from annual conferences, it will still take time for this plan to be implemented across the global church. So it's unlikely that changes will happen overnight. Finally, no matter what happens or what plan, if any, are passed, there will probably be those on either side who feel they will need to leave the denomination. As you can see, we may not have a clear and concise answer to the church's stance on human sexuality by 2019. But this long process of decision-making, albeit frustrating at times, does force us to slow down, to listen for the Holy Spirit, and to stay in relationship with one another even when we disagree. And so remember that above all in the church we are called to love one another even when we disagree. And that the United Methodist Church has always been a body of diverse theological and biblical perspectives, which is something to be celebrated. And that no matter what happens, it is important that we continue living out our faith right here and right now. For no matter what happens, we are all called to make disciples of Christ for the transformation of the world. What do you love about the United Methodist Church? And what are you holding on to during this time of uncertainty? Let us know in the comments below. And if you have other questions, don't hesitate to ask your pastor.